I'm about to commit guitar blasphemy, the abominable sin of guitars that's totally unforgivable. I'm going to take this guitar completely apart. Let's go. And why is this guitar blasphemy? Well, it's a perfectly great playing sounding instrument, brand new. The condition is brand new. I would say it's actually used a little bit, but not much. We're going to strip this thing completely down and part it out. It's kind of what I do. I don't talk too much about parting stuff out, but I've done it so much and on so many guitars over the years. 20 years of doing guitars. I used to sell nothing but whole guitars, and this one, for what I got in it, just made a whole lot more sense to go ahead and part it out, because it's worth more in parts than it is as a whole. So a pre-owned guitar naturally is not worth as much as the new one. This is an $1,100 guitar, brand new. They're still for sale for that. They have some kind of closeout going on now where you can get one for about $8.50. Okay. First off, let's go ahead and loosen these. Try not to ever touch the body with whatever you're using, the Allen wrench or the little specialty tool I got from, I think it was Ibanez quite a while back. We're going to go ahead and do it this way. Okay, now I take that whammy bar off, get it out of the way. I have kind of a system, not the, ooh, I hate to strip those. No strippage, please. Need a new bit. That bit, I've worn it out. Alright. What I do is, when I take them apart, I end up selling them on eBay. And every part gets its own little auction. Well, it's not an auction, it's an actual fixed price. But I only do that when they're worth maybe close to 20% more used than they are new. This one's worth probably a couple hundred more, at least, in parts than it is. So it's definitely worth me to go ahead and turn it into parts. All right. Now let's go ahead and get these tuners off of here. Wow. This happens sometimes. Somebody really bore down on that way too hard. That's pitiful. Good grief. These tuners on the neck, sometimes you gotta judge the price by, hey, is this a $300 neck with the tuners on it and a $200 neck without them? So I've, you come into that situation a lot and you gotta decide, hey, what is the most profitable way to do it? I've already done that on this one. The Charvel tuners bring good money after you get the tuners off. I may sell the nut with it because the nut doesn't sell for very much on its own. So I'll probably leave that nut on it. I would encourage other people to do, you know, this. I wish there were more people selling parts, you know, that would part out some expensive old guitars. Those guys just seem to be gone now, and I wish they weren't. But yeah, because I mean, there was a time when you could buy something online, a missing part, like say you needed a specific nut, specific one tuner, you know, from like a 1960s Gibson or something, and it needed to be, you know, like the specific one, aged. You'd have 30 examples, but now you don't. They're lucky to find one and probably zero. But let me do a little bit more research on this nut before I remove that nut. I may go ahead and do it, but I'm gonna take some pressure off of this truss rod to loosen her a little bit. I know it was tightened. Yeah, it needs a little more loose. When it's off, it's much easier. Oh my, it's a double acting truss rod. So it is, we got a little curve in it now. So let's, you always want to store these while you're selling them dead on straight. Do not, I'm looking down this to get myself in the camera, and I'm eyeballing it, but I will put a bar across it that's perfectly straight just to make sure that we don't have any back bow or forward bow. We want to take the tremolo off as your next step. And these those are little bitty screws they use. I do not want to strip anything out. We got to get in here to get the Floyd Rose. This is the Floyd Rose FRT 1000. This is a little higher end do flabby. This isn't the cheap one. This isn't the special. This is the good one. It's like an original Floyd. Oh look, somebody put a little silencer in there. That's fine. That's fine. I always like to go ahead and relieve these because I know for a fact that somebody put 10s on this. The previous owner. I don't know why. 25.5-inch scale, standard tuning, 9s. Period. That's just me. Not saying you can't put 10s on it, but they're made for 9s. Now, if you're going to tune down a half a step, I don't put 10s on it even then. I put 9.5s at that point. So I'm very careful when I pop these off. Don't scratch anything. Just be careful. Get the springs out of the way. And we will hang on to this. That may have been used to... Okay, that tremolo just falls out on the other side. There we go. Now, one thing you got to do, you got to pull those studs out. So there is a trick to it. I like to take a book. I shouldn't be using this, but I didn't feel like looking around the place. And you use an absolutely crooked hammer. It can't be straight. Straight ones don't work. But anyway, you just hook it on there and pull. Try to get it to where it pulls straight up. And it'll pull it out without any problem. But you do not want to scratch up your body, especially if it's brand new. Just be very, very careful. Make sure you take this and use it as a pry bar first. Get it up under something really strong and just beat it crooked. It's got to be crooked. It's got to be an old beat up crooked one, or it won't work. Next. Nice part about this, it's got the Floyd Rose 1000 on it, and it's got Seymour Duncans in it. So, I mean, good Seymour Duncans, HSH configuration. And they're not cheapies. I may sell probably the pick guard with it. I can't believe they have such a cheap. I think the Strat pick guard, the one made in Mexico, fits these. I mean, if I was going to keep this, I would buy me a different pick guard. This is a single ply. This is the cheapest part of this. I mean, you don't put $260 worth of pickups in a guitar that, you know, an $1,100 guitar, and then use a cheap pick guard when it was only going to cost you probably at the factory maybe $3 or $4 more to put the good one. That's the only thing I can say bad about this, is they cheaped out on the pick guard really bad. But looks to me, oh yeah, look at that switch. That's a nice switch. Seymour Duncan, made in the USA. We got a TB6, Trimbucker 6, and then an SH6N, and then an SSL6 in the middle. But dang, I'm just going to take this thing completely out. I'm probably out of the camera thing. Let's see. I'm going to do it left-handed. I'm right-handed. Okay. Oh, just hit my camera. Just like that. Alright, let's see what we got here. Do I desolder or will it go through? It will not go through. Tell you what, I probably won't even desolder it. Let's see. We got enough, since it goes in here, and there's plenty of, yep, there's where it's got a connection on it anyway. So I'm just going to clip this. Clip it, the one that goes towards the jack, though, and leave the little, when I sell it, you can leave those little caps on there. That's just shrink wrap. Well, it looks like some of my soldering. I usually do that. I like to put shrink wrap, make stuff easy to change out. If you don't have the automatic connectors, I would go ahead and shrink wrap on the tips. It just makes it easier for the next guy. Okay, there's another part. We're probably going to sell that one as a whole. And then we pull the jack out. And the jack will go with this, and it'll be a complete set. So, you got the body. Let me go ahead and get this piece out. You got the body on this. That's probably worth, I would say 300. Yeah, the body bare is worth about 300. The neck is 250, 300. Usually without the tuners, it's 250 at the least. You got the tremolo that'll bring, 180. You got the pick guard that will bring a couple hundred. I got all the price. I looked it up, but I kind of forgot what they were now. But I noticed that this thing whole used is worth 700, and parts 9 to 950. So that's enough for me to go ahead and part it out. That's how I make my decisions on the guitars I work on. And this isn't the room I usually tear them apart either. This is just, it's easier to film in here. Hopefully yeah, I'm still. I don't usually film in here. But this goes with the tremolo. And the next scene you'll probably see is me putting them on. Okay, that's about as far down and apart. The tuners are going to bring, I think, 75-ish, somewhere around there. Yeah, neck with a nut on it should bring 3, 6, 7, 8, 50, 950, 10, and 1050. 1050. I mean, even this thing's going to bring about 35 bucks. So you can see where if it's only going to bring 700, and it'll bring at least 950 at worst, and I would say at best 1050, maybe coming up to 1100. So it is just worth it to go ahead and do this. Just go ahead and part it out. and it's blasphemy to some people to do what I'm doing right now. But anyway, the next thing you'll see is each part setting out right before I start listing it. I usually like to set them out and then do them one at a time. Come get, go take pictures and get them up on eBay. But anyway, let's do the next step. And then I will show you, once I get them all listed on eBay, I will go ahead, I will show you exactly how much they are for sale. And you know, you can usually knock 10% off of what I'm asking, and that's what it'll eventually bring. Or you know, some people pay the full amount, but you always get offers on it, and which is fine. I don't mind offers. Okay, here's everything ready to put on the internet. There's the neck, the Floyd Rose Tremolo, the body, and I decided to go ahead and sell the pick guard and the back plate with the body. That's going to help it sell, and it'll actually bring a little more. And I just took the electronics completely off of the pick guard, and I'm going to sell that separately along with the jack there. These 3 Seymour Duncan pickups, all pre-wired with the switch and the jack. Floyd Rose 1000, as you can see here, it's the nicer one. Number 32, which is pretty cool. There's the neck plate I'm going to put up and the tuners. And that's it. And I will kind of give you a preview of them as soon as I get them uploaded. This is the neck listed at $295. This is the body with the pick guard and the plastic back plate at $275. This is the Seymour Duncan pickups with the pots, the switch, and the jack. I got $185 on it. I did price these to sell. There's the Floyd Rose 1000 tremolo for $165. I priced it a little bit down to be a little more competitive because there's a lot of them out there. And here is the Charvel Charvel neck plate. I got $30 on that, and the tuners I got 29. I kind of got to be competitive because there's a few of these that are being sold for $29. But anyway, hold on, the grand total, a total of 980 on this one. So didn't quite hit the 1,000, but that's close enough. That's better than trying to sell it slightly used for $700 or $750. Figure by the time it sells, it'll be probably around 900. Now I do have shipping on almost everything, and the shipping pays a lot of the fees, so it cuts them in about half overall. But anyway, that's what we're doing here. They are up for sale. It is the next day. I didn't quite get this video finished, but anyway, y'all be cool.